Game 1, NBA Finals. Matchup tonight between the Dallas Mavericks, who are traveling to Boston to face off against the Boston Celtics in Boston, Massachusetts. Tip-off is set for 8:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. Spence Locks here. I have a full game analysis for you guys for Game 1. We're going to talk about the money lines, the totals, the spread. I'm going to give you guys my lean on those, as well as finish off this video with some player prop leans. Appreciate you guys. If you guys want me to keep making these videos for the finals, we're back. So smash me a like on the video. I'm going to give you guys as much sauce and intelligence as I can based on my analysis. I've been doing research all day for the last few days. You guys know how Game 1 is, though. Game 1, we're going to see how these teams are playing in Game 1. So I'm in on Game 1. I'm sure all you guys are in on Game 1, but maybe throw half of a unit today. Like I say with Game 1s, don't come too aggressive. We could be surprised. We could be shocked. I'm going to give you guys what the public is thinking. I'm going to give you guys what some of the media is saying. And I want you to take all of this information and kind of compile it and decide what you want to do. Now, I do have one best bet that I sent out for my VIP clients on my Winnable is a straight bet, as well as a couple of player props for my VIP clients. If you guys want to check out my VIP, it's pretty cheap. You can go in here and grab a week pass or the month. We're doing baseball and NBA right now. Baseball, we're doing pretty well. We just came off of a 5-0 run for baseball. Took a couple of losses, but we're still profitable for MLB. And now we're getting back to basketball. So yeah, you can use code playoffs, take 20% off of any of those, and get my best bet for tonight, as well as the rest of NBA playoffs and MLB before we get into football season, which is going to be really exciting. So nonetheless, let's talk about a little bit about the game today and look at the public and some of the media, and then I'll end it off with some player props for you guys. Game 1's, it's kind of a toss-up, but we're going to talk about it. Boston's been off 9 days since they swept the Pacers in the last round of the playoffs. The Mavericks have been off 6 days since they finished off the Wolves in a 4-1 series record. Boston, these two teams have played twice in the regular season and 2 times in the season before this. Boston is 4-0 straight up against the spread and 4-0 straight up each time that they played the Mavericks. Boston this season, right, they won the first game against the Mavericks 138-110, and then they won the second game 119-110. So they won one game by 18 points. They won the other game by 9 points. But at the same time, I don't discount the Mavericks right now. They've had, let's take a look at who these teams have been playing against this year in the playoffs, because I don't really look at the regular season. I don't really look at last year. I look at momentum. I look at how these teams are playing currently. And the Celtics, they beat up the Heat, and they still took a loss, right, at home. Then they played the Cavaliers, and they beat up the Cavaliers for the most part, still taking that loss, right, at home. And then they played the Pacers. And although they did sweep the Pacers, that series was very competitive when the Pacers could have stole at least 3 of those games, but their lack of experience didn't allow them to execute the close. Nonetheless, I do think that Vegas and the association and everybody who watches basketball wanted to see the Celtics in the finals regardless. Now, I do think Vegas has obviously their way in a lot of the decision makings of how these games actually end. Like I say, man, whether you're in a casino playing blackjack, whether you're playing slots, whether you're playing roulette, whether you're betting on sports, it's hard to beat the house, right? That's why the house has millions of dollars. But we're going to talk about that and probably the best way to play this game. And like I said, my VIP has my best bet for tonight. Let's take a look at the public tonight, right? So we're looking here, right? A lot of people have money on the Celtics money line tonight, 60% to 40%, but this number could be a little bit skewed. I've been seeing a lot of stuff in the media, which I'll show you guys next, that actually a lot of people have money on the Mavs money line tonight. And I mean, you can see the odds here. So Celtics are minus 230, Mavericks are plus 210. And I understand, right, if you put $2,000, right, you're making like $4,000 back. You're doubling your money basically. And so I understand that for like a normal bettor, right, based on how the Mavericks have been playing recently, just beating up on the Timberwolves, who just beat the defending world champion, the Denver Nuggets, yeah, a lot of people are going to slam the Mavericks money line. That's why I say like go easy on game one. I think a stronger bet than the money lines. Obviously, you don't get much value in Boston money line, so it's very tempting to slam Dallas money line, and maybe that's what they want you to do. The spread, it's at 6.5. So if you pick Dallas plus 6.5, Dallas has to win the game outright, or they can't lose by more than 6.5 points. And on the latter side, you have Boston minus 6.5, which means Boston has to win the game, and they must win and clear by at least 6.5 points. And then you got the total over and under. The public's always on the over, but actually I lean kind of under on this game. Like we say, guys, and we just know this, that Boston at home is going to control the pace. And although a lot of the games did go over with the Pacers, that's because they're playing the Pacers. I think the pace might be a little bit slow, but I can't have a good reading for game one as far as the totals yet. I know they're going to play kind of loose because it's game one, right? So maybe they're going to be shooting a lot of threes. And we know this, guys, about the Boston Celtics. They're a three-point shooting team. They live and die by the three-point. And, right, it's just a question of this. The Celtics have been off for 9 days. Is that 9 days going to have them rusty, or is it going to have them rested? And that is the ultimate thing that is going to determine the outcome of the game in the series. If the Celtics are slamming threes, the Celtics shouldn't have a problem, right? The Mavericks did so well with their defense against the Timberwolves is because the style of playing was different. The Timberwolves didn't take a lot of threes compared to the Celtics. The Timberwolves would drive down under the hoop, and you have defenders for the Mavericks like Gafford, Jones, Lively, these big guys that were able to stop that offense from the Timberwolves. Now we see a completely different matchup and offensive play style from the Celtics, taking a lot of threes, and we're going to have to see in game one how guys like Washington and guys like Lively and these guys are able to defend against the perimeter. So like I said, either team can win this game, right? I wouldn't be surprised if the Mavericks win this game out. What I think really will happen is, well, first let's take a look at this, guys. I got some stuff for you guys to look at here, and and when you're making your bets and shit, it's like this. It's tough to really call a game one. You want to see how they're going to play against each other. You can't really take what happened in the regular season or all these trends and statistics from the past is kind of irrelevant and bullshit, because the NBA and the WNBA and you've seen the commissioner of the NBA, right? Like, they're getting a ton of more money now. Everyone's interested in the NBA now. So although it is who's the better team, who's playing, right? Like, if shots aren't falling, shots aren't falling. And like I say, like, there's always a higher power, which Vegas is the highest power in this. They could influence stuff like, maybe Luka gets in foul trouble and stuff like that. But if shots aren't falling, shots aren't falling. It's tough to really, rig or script that. Now, the series is a little bit more able to be controlled if you're Vegas or the house, because, you got 7 games to do it. Maybe they're not shooting tonight, but you can, they bounce back as well. Now, let's see some stuff here. So I got you guys first here with this, and I'll just let you watch this first. You notice anything? You notice the Mavericks are practicing and warming up with steel chain nets. This tells me one thing. The Mavericks want blood tonight. The Mavericks want blood tonight. We haven't even seen a 5th seed come into the NBA Finals in quite a long time, and you can't really say that the Mavericks are playing as a 5th seed team. I mean, they've been going up against the Clippers, which was a strong team. They won that. Then they went up against the number 1 seed, OKC, and they won that. And then they went up against the Wolves, who beat the defending world champions, the Nuggets, and they won that. The Celtics have had kind of a cakewalk, and we do know the Celtics can take their foot off of the gas. I don't think the Celtics will take their foot off the gas in game one, but I do perhaps come to a conclusion that maybe the time off for the Celtics, and maybe because Porzingis hasn't played in the lineup in weeks, that I do think Porzingis during the series, like, he'll start to get warmed up and stuff, but I do think Dallas is going to put pressure on them. Now, I'm not saying Dallas is going to win this game, but I'm interested in this point spread. And Dallas could very well win this game straight up. But will say this. I will say this. Dallas could win this game. Boston more likely to win this game, one at home. But I'm interested in the point spread, and I don't think I think that Dallas can win this game, or Dallas can cover the spread at the least. I do think that, because take away the regular season games where Dallas, take away the regular season games against Boston, right? That Dallas got blown out by 18 points and then they lost by 9 points. Take away those games. Dallas momentum right now is a lot stronger than it was in the regular season. They have PJ Washington, they have Daniel Gafford, Luka and Kyrie. Luka's playing better than he's ever played. Even during the playoffs, right? Like before this series, Luka was banged up against the Clippers and against OKC, and they still won those games. I want to show you guys this. Let's look at this. Hard Rock today. Someone sent me this. Celtics to win versus Mavericks was minus 250, but now it's minus 165. What does this tell you, man? This is the house right here. They're giving you more money if you lock Celtics. And I think they're getting nervous because a lot of money is coming in on the Mavericks. And like I said, like the house isn't going to just be like, do some voodoo shit and say, yeah, Celtics have to win this game. They'll do shit like increase fouls and stuff like that, but they're not going to make a magnetic rim, right? So it is the players, like if the players are going to come out to play, or maybe you have the coaches influencing some things like sitting players, and that really affects player props and ultimately the outcomes of games. But I think the biggest thing that the books and Vegas and the house really that we're all up against, guys, can do is to have the refs influence fouls and stuff like that, which we'll have to just see in game one. But I thought that this was interesting, that they're going to give you more money if you lock the Celtics to win versus the Mavericks. And the Celtics were already the preferred team to win. Interesting. Another interesting thing. We got Drake. Drake betting $500,000 on the Mavericks to win the finals. Now, this doesn't really mean that the Mavericks are going to win game one, but obviously, Drake is putting his money on the Mavericks. And, a lot of people are saying, oh, I'm fading that now. Like, thank you, I'm fading that. This account right here, though, BR Betting, and we're going to look at it on another post, they post a lot of propaganda, man. Like, I feel like this account always just posts, like the media, like some fake-ass shit, bro. And so, here's another post here. 82% of bets are on Mavericks moneyline in game one. The public's all over the Mavs moneyline plus 200 tonight. I mean, yeah, it makes sense, bro. Like, if you're the public, bro, and you don't have that much bread, and, you're not a sharp bettor, yeah, you're just slamming the Mavericks moneyline. It's a coin flip, right? They've been playing really good recently. I don't think the Mavericks win this game. They could win the game, but I think that the Celtics win this game. Do I think the Celtics cover? Probably could cover, but that's why I say game one is a toss-up, really, guys. Player props, though, are probably, a really safe bet for tonight. But this game could go either way. As far as the money line, I wouldn't even touch the money line because they're trying to get you with the plus value. Celtics might win this game, and they might not cover, right? Or Mavericks could win this game. I think it'll be a close game, and that's what you have to look at when you're deciding on money line and you're deciding on spread. I do think it will be a close game. If the Mavericks lose this game, I do think that, they'll go down fighting and it's not going to be a 10-plus point differential, personally. But we're going to have to wait and see. So I say, dip your feet in the water today. Throw a little bit of something down where you feel strong at. And then you'll have a better reading on game two. Because I'll say this. Whoever wins game one tonight, the other team is probably going to win game two. So throw in a little bread. Listen to what I have to say. Listen to others. Check out what the public is doing. Obviously, you don't really always want to be on the side of the public, but the public wins about 48% of the time, right? So, with that being said, I just look at this again, and the media is just they're always trying to trick you, bro. The house doesn't want to lose, but I do feel good about Luka and Kyrie right now, and I'm thinking if I'm the NBA, it's either going to be Tatum as the MVP or Luka as the MVP. And personally, I think I think everybody kind of wants to see Luka get a ring and get the MVP and Kyrie and like I just kind of seemed like at first maybe it was Tatum, but now it's kind of like everybody's like riding with the Mavs, like they just beat the Wolves, and that's something to take into consideration also because they could rug pull the fuck out of you, and they might rug pull you tonight. I have a best bet on my VIP how to play this game, if you guys want it. But let's talk about some player props. Some of my player prop suggestions for tonight. Porzingis is back tonight, but I'd be neutral on his player props tonight. I wouldn't throw the kitchen sink at Porzingis tonight, guys. I told you he hasn't played in weeks. Like who knows how long he's even gonna play tonight. But I do think he'll play a lot tonight. He could have a great game coming back. He could be ready. He could be excited. We just don't know what's in the mind of Kristaps Porzingis. So that's why I say go easy on game one. But I'd look for him. I'd be neutral on him tonight. I know some people want to just start slamming Porzingis props. Not going to be me personally. I'll wait till game two. But that's going to mean less minutes for Al Horford. And Horford had some big games against the Pacers, but he still managed to go under in a bunch of games. The odds makers have adjusted his line. He's at 6.5, 7 points tonight. I would look for Horford under tonight personally, with the reduced playing time, hopefully, that he receives. It's Daniel Gafford, props under. He's going to be going up against Porzingis. He's going to get less playing time with Lively healthy as well. I think Lively's going to play tonight. I do like Derek Lively PRAs tonight, 16.5, I believe. I like that line probably the best. I like PJ Washington tonight, points, 3-pointers. I think he's going to have a game. And I do think that this game is going to be a lot of perimeter shooting, right? And we're just going to see how these two teams come out today. I also like I would never fade Luka. Luka's an over or nothing, right? You can't fade him. I think Luka probably has a game tonight. I think he's going to be going up against Drew Holiday. Maybe they're going to put on him to try and defend him. But I really like, the ones I had told you guys. Horford under, PJ Washington over, Derek Lively over, and maybe Tatum. I think Tatum will have a game too if you want to rock a Tatum on one of your slips. I like Jason Tatum. Yeah, guys, that's the video. I'll just wrap it up here in a sentence. Game one is going to decide how game two is, not the series, right? This is going to be a competitive series. Maybe it goes 6, maybe it goes 7. I do think that they want to make the finals very enjoyable and they want to make it a spectacle. So, crazy headline would be Mavs beat Dallas, game 1. Mavs beat Boston in Boston, game 1. That would be a crazy headline. But a lot of the money is on the Mavericks, right? That's another thing to consider. I'll leave you guys with that. I'm out of here. Spence Locks. Oh.